Shout out to Asher for sending me this story right here. And before I go any further, I have to give another shout out to Asher because he sends me a lot of stories involving a lot of these PC teachers who be messing around with their students, and often the stories go underreported. I won't say unreported because that means that would simply mean that they don't talk about it at all, but underreported because they don't put it out there like they should. And I'm kind of kicking myself in my own ass for the simple fact that some of them I glossed over because it's like it gets repetitive. As a matter of fact, when he sent me this story, all I could reply back to him with was again, because that's how many he sends me. Like he probably sent me a good 4 or 5 in the last month, and I didn't talk about either one of them, mainly because it's like, well, damn. And I'm like mad at myself a little bit because I didn't talk about it, but I'm going to get back into the groove of talking about more of these because they need to be talked about, especially since it's very one-sided. If it was a male teacher that did what this person is doing, and y'all know where I'm headed with this, it would be all over the news. But when it's a woman who does it, it often always goes unreported or underreported. And just like I know this story right here is going to go underreported to a T. So what we have here is this woman whose name is Andee Lantz. She's 26 years old. She's out of Oklahoma, and she was charged with rape for having sex with her 16-year-old male student on 2 or 3 more occasions. Well, multiple occasions. I'll put it like that. And the way that they found out was because a new photo of her circulated around the school, and then that's how they connected the dots and they exposed her for what she was doing. So basically she's 10 years older than him, but either way, she was messing around with a minor. Let's see what they're talking about. A special education teacher from Oklahoma has been charged with second-degree rape for allegedly having sex with a 16-year-old student and sending him a nude selfie. Andee Lantz, age 26, appeared in Caddo County Court last Wednesday to answer to the criminal charge against her. Lantz had been employed as a teacher at Carnegie High School before resigning in mid-November amid allegations of sexual misconduct. According to court documents cited in News 9, the case began unfolding on November 16th when Carnegie School's Superintendent Eric Smith contacted the local police saying that Lantz was involved in a sexual relationship with a 16-year-old student at the local high school. Smith said the allegations against Lantz came to light after the student began circulating a new photo of the teacher around school. When questioned about the image, both the boy and Lantz initially denied any knowledge of the photo, but the teacher later allegedly admitted to engaging in an inappropriate relationship with the teen. She said on one occasion she was riding around with the student and he leaned in and kissed her, and that it went from there. And we know what she means when she says that. Lance's first encounter with the teen allegedly took place after a homecoming game. The 26-year-old special education teacher also admitted to having sex 2 or 3 times with the minor, according to the court papers. At least one of the trysts was said to have taken place at Lance's home in Carnegie. The superintendent noted that the student was not in any of Lance's classes. "It makes me sick to my stomach," said local parent Susan Clark. The age of consent in Oklahoma is 16, but that does not apply to relations between a teacher and a student. So, and something told me that I bet the age of consent was 16 in Oklahoma. You can just tell what kind of places have a very low age limit, or age of consent limit, I should say. And that's the one thing right here that messed her up. I bet you if she wasn't a teacher anymore, she decided to resign, she would have been in the clear. But still, at the same time, how much you think this is going to get widely reported? Now, here's her mugshot. Now, I read this entire article, and not one time in the article did they call her a sexual predator. They didn't even say what she was charged with. They didn't make any charges. It's almost like, okay, we got her. We arrested her because here's her mugshot, and here you go. If it was a male teacher, he would have had charges. His face would have been all the way out there. You would have gotten the title of sexual predator, even if the age of consent was 16, and all types of things. So they're handling this and her with kid gloves as far as I'm concerned. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is the first and only time you ever hear this story and you don't hear about it ever again, unless I decide to go back into it and see if there was any update to come from it. But other than that, they're going to leave this one alone. Just like they leave all the other incidents where a female teacher messes with a male student alone. I've done so many videos like this before over the years, and it always leads back to the same thing. Remember the video that I did about that female teacher out of New York who she got one of the biggest slaps on the wrist. She, did what she did. They ended up firing her or suspending her or something like that. She ended up going to jail for a little bit. She got charged. I think they ended up dropping the charges. And not only that, she was allowed to go back to that same school she taught at and work again as if nothing happened. Of course, she also had being PC on her side as well, but she's also still a woman. So she had her gender on her side as well. They would have never done that for a male teacher, nor should they. But the same thing should apply to the female teachers as well when it comes to situations such as this. But what they'll do is they'll try to make them feel like they're in the victim mode and that they couldn't control their urges, and it was the male student that should have been able to say no, when they are the ones who are the consenting adult. Tell me I'm lying. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure you have your notifications turned on to all, and I will talk to you in the next one.